All right, I hope this didn't shock your eyes too much, but this is what we do every morning before the 9:30 open, and that is to perform a top-down analysis and try and establish a game plan of what we expect the markets to do. I'll explain all this, but for now, let's focus on these top two markets, which are the stock indexes. They were in a downtrend. Okay, that's what these arrows are. And so we expected one of two things. We expected the markets to whip, which is what these squiggly lines are. And in the second place, if they didn't whip, or maybe as a part of that, we were looking for a pullback and a continuation down pretty good. And that's what these pink lines indicate. And we did them in pink, so they were a little bit different than the yellow. On the bottom, the crude oil was up, and we expected to pull back a little bit and shoot up. We didn't get that until the crude oil report. And then this is the euro, and we just weren't sure we'd get anything in the euro. Really didn't think we would, because there is big news due out overnight tonight and before the morning session tomorrow morning. So this was our top-down analysis and our game plan, what we were looking for at the 9:30 open. Okay, here's what they look like at 9:30, and I've got them labeled for you here, and just in case this is your first video and you're not used to the markets. Top left is NASDAQ, top right S&P, bottom left is crude oil, and bottom right here is the EuroFX. And the first 5-minute candle, as you can see here in the NASDAQ and over here in the S&P, sure look for all the world like they were going to do what we expected, which is whip back and forth. Okay, not really have any direction. And then on the second 5-minute candles, it's more the same. And we tend not to want to trade a market that's doing like this in the live trading room. You can scalp it, but that's not something that we like to jump in and jump out of. So we're waiting. Again, we're waiting on these markets to pull back so we can sell. That's our first option in the game plan. And you can see that here in the S&P, price did in fact pull back, and we did go ahead and sell it right there. The NASDAQ hadn't pulled back enough yet, but we did take a sell there in the S&P. But price was pretty strongly to the upside. As you can see, it had kind of pushed down and was rallying up, and it didn't do what I wanted it to do after the entry. And if price doesn't do what I want it to do, I'm quick to scratch a trade, and then we'll just get ready for the next one. And that's what we did here. It was a scratch trade, a break even, which is the BE part, and the closeout. It was a closeout trade, so that means a scratch for us. And we were still waiting at that point on the NASDAQ to pull up and turn down for us. So the NASDAQ turned down, as you can see, but it didn't pull up enough. The S&P finally pushed up and came down, and so I gave away one there. Maybe it's not the first one I gave away, and it surely won't be the last, but it did set us up for the next little add-on buy that we tried. The market was pretty much doing what we thought it would do at this point, which is whip, and we were trying to make the best of a tough situation. These markets are very dangerous. I keep repeating that over and over. Today, they were kind of dead to start with, and for the last few weeks, certainly the last few days, they've been pretty hysterical after 9:30. Today they were kind of dead, but we were looking now for price to push up, pull back, and take out the highs up here. So we bought a second little scalp right there. And it did turn in our favor just a little bit, but it turned back down, and so we got knocked out this time with a break-even trail. And you can see that right here, another break-even, but this time it's got a little T in there, which means that it was a trailing stop that got hit. And again, it turned up. It was a little bit late. They were kind of pushing through support and resistance and coming back like this, and that's okay, but that's not something we want. We want to enter on support and resistance. I don't like to see them run through sometimes. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes I don't like to see it, and today I did not want to see it, so we got out. But the market did turn up a little bit, and you can see the NASDAQ starting to turn up a little bit. You can see over here the euro just suddenly spiked out of nowhere. And so that kind of sets us up for what you're about to see in the live trading room this morning, September 12th, 2018. We may try and get in down here lower in the NASDAQ. Let's go in 73. This is very aggressive. 73 out on 78 for 40 ticks. Very aggressive. See if we can catch it back filling and turning down. Right, we're in at 73. Didn't really come through there, so I'm not sure everybody's in, but most everybody should be in. 40 ticks right down. It's got to make new lows. Let's go to break even already. Take the add-on off. I wanted to see it pull back, backfill like it didn't turn down. So we've got the backfill part. Let's see if we can get the turn down. All right, you're in. Good. Okay, good. Looks like everybody got in. +1, make it a free trade, and we mark it up. Well, these markets are just really poor today, so well, it's hit on us down there. No fill on the target. Don't tell me this thing's gonna whip back all the way. We've seen it. Not very often, thank goodness, knock on wood, but we've seen it. We've seen it hit one tick away from the target and come back. Let's just wait. It should get through us down here. Although it did take out the lows by a tick or two, and that may be all you get this morning. I think it's got a little bit more in it. Okie doke, there we go. We had to work for it, but we got the full daily profit target. And these are very poor markets this morning, so we're not going to try and add on. We're just going to consider ourselves lucky and be done. Everybody should be out because it went through. I didn't tell you to go for extra. Got the crude oil report coming up in about 20 minutes. But otherwise, we'll see if there's any questions. If there are, we'll deal with them and we'll be finished. Okay, there you have it. The full daily profit target. We had to work for it, but we got that nice NASDAQ trade for 40 ticks, and it gave us the full daily profit target. Knock on wood, a continuation of our streak. Again, not much happening in the euro, but big news overnight tonight, and the crude oil report due at 10:30 in the morning this morning. But like I said earlier, these are dangerous, very dangerous markets right now. Today was a completely different day of price action for the first 30 minutes, and it felt like, again, we were waiting on something, and I don't know what it is. It may be like I said, the other day, the current conditions we find ourselves in this country, with the imminent potential release of the unredacted FISA warrant, could be the tariffs and China's response, maybe the pending hurricane, Florence, that they're saying may be the worst ever. Could have been this morning's 8:30 report, the sudden drop in producer prices, and maybe a reset in their the banksters' expectations and what they're going to do with the markets. It could be a combination of all that. I know it's way too early for the elections, and that's really going to affect the markets here in about 6 weeks or so. But anyway, that's what we got this morning. The full daily profit target again, although we had to work for it, we tried to catch a little bit in the S&P because that seemed like it was the better market at the time, but then we stuck with our game plan. We did get exactly what we thought in the S&P, a pull up and a turn down. Didn't really get the pull up ever in the NASDAQ, but we did get the turn down, and we took advantage of that and snuck out the full daily profit target. Okay, we're in the home stretch, but there's still a few things that I think are important, so here we go, and especially important if your results didn't match what we got today in the live trading room. Here's the CFTC disclaimer. It by itself is very important. I urge you to pause and read it, and if you're interested in learning more, or if you just want more information about what it is we do every day and how my live trading room is very different, you can visit my blog at www.chartsky.com. You know, if your results weren't quite like what I call from members of the live trading room today, you could be trading with us as soon as tomorrow. Maybe you're struggling. Maybe you're struggling with a combine, or maybe you just want a second set of eyes on the charts. There's still plenty of time to salvage what's left of this year and get a jump on next year. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, and there's always more than one way to take advantage of what I offer members of the live trading room. Again, you can join us as soon as tomorrow, but the first step is to go to my blog at www.chartsky.com and visit the live trading room page. Well, maybe you have questions about this video or any of the other videos, questions about any of the trades or anything I might have said. Maybe questions about your own situation. Believe me, I get all kinds of questions. I don't mind them at all. Maybe you've got questions about whether there's still even room for you in the live trading room. If you've got any questions, feel free to send them to me at chartskytrades@gmail.com. Again, I don't mind questions. I get them all the time. I try and answer questions within 24 hours or less. I guess that's all for now. As always, thanks for watching.
Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.